Oh. Roasted.
Is it
I'm
live?
going with Curtis White.
I just want to say that there's a skiff of snow outside, and I drove home behind every license plate from either Georgia or Florida.
Oh gosh.
So I'm a little pissed off tonight.
That's.
It's not like we haven't had winter since, winter started. And everybody was just driving like they were an old lady on their way to get a pack of cigarettes because it's their last smoke and they're going to die soon. But you'd think they'd take their chances. That's a horrible reference then. Before we begin, let's do some thanks. Scratch Labs, people. The best flavor, ingredients, and variety for sports nutrition out there, hands down. Check out the brilliant cookbooks and constant new flavors and methods to get you to the finish. Your stomach will thank you on the next long ride. Use Scratch Labs link at Packfiller.com. Athletic Brewing, folks. That's right. Without Athletic, there's absolutely no way I'd have made it through dry January. There is no way, even though my dry January
was dryish.
It was moist.
My moist.
That's not my question. If what your thoughts are of the word moist. Actually, I plan to continue with Athletic throughout the year. Just substitute a beer here and there, things like that, and the calories disappear while the flavor stays. Use the link at Packfiller. Finally, Untapped Maple. That's right, Untapped is back for another year. If you're up to speed on Ted King's adventures, as I said in the last, the formula is 1 packet per hour. What he does, along with a stroopwafel every other hour. Add in the great maple aid and you are fueled. Use the link at Packfiller to get into the Untapped way of life. Let's do that. Is that loud?
You might want to ask David since he doesn't have his whole.
David,
He's
you
got to
okay?
use a stethoscope.
You've got one ear off?
So yeah, but he's sensitive to noise. Can you imagine? He's going to be deaf from the show.
And somebody
said, you have no heartbeat.
Yeah.
He's gonna
You're
have like
deaf.
Shit, this man is crashing.
He's looking for like a heart murmur, and he's like, "No, you're good."
Yeah.
Can't even hear it.
Person dies a month later.
Can't even hear the heart.
Yeah. Or even worse, he thinks the guy's dead, and he has to go like the Monty Python sketch where it's like, go get the free flabulator and the blue bloomulator and the machine that goes ping. Thank you, Paul.
You guys are so old sometimes.
Another month in the rear view, another month closer to sunshine and outdoor bike rides. I don't want to say I want to wish my life away, but man, February sucks. So let's get through it together with a great start right here on the Packfiller Cycling Podcast. I'm Pat Bulger. With me are the sultans of the cycling spit take. I just came up with that. No, I came up with that today, and then I wrote it down, and I'm using it now. The members of the Packfiller, let's see who's here, although you can easily play along with our YouTube stream, which is a little wonky today because for some reason it wouldn't let me embed it directly into the website. So if you're listening, you obviously found the button on the websites. There's a button that says go to our YouTube channel and it takes you to YouTube. Or you go to YouTube. I'm over-explaining. I'm mansplaining. Gentlemen, please respond to tonight's question. And you can't say drinking. All right? What do you know is bad for you, but you still continue to do it anyway? That's our question for tonight. What is something you do that is bad for you, but you still do it, and you cannot say drinking alcohol? First of all, he's as timeless as a classic steel frame with rim brakes. In other words, effective as hell. Mr. Paul Main, how are you, man?
And slow.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
No, steel frame with rim brakes is, well, maybe it's just a... No, that would be sexually taken. So go ahead.
I pluck my nose hairs, and it's not really detrimental, but I get ingrown, hairs every once in a while because I pluck them, make you sneeze.
No, I hate that when you get one that's really
but
sensitive.
then when you cause it to get ingrown because you're plucking, and then
And
you
your
have
nose
to just
hurts,
barely
like, you
bump
have
it.
to-
It's like,
yeah.
oh,
So you obsessively pluck.
yeah,
You do
Okay.
have.
yeah, because
You
I don't
are
want to
very
have a party
clean.
favors like you. It's
I was going to use the Bob Uecker reference. When he sneezes, he looks like a party favor.
I mean, that's a clean airway right there.
Yeah,
That
it's
is.
immaculate.
that's right. Yeah,
Do I have it bad?
no, not
Yeah,
as-
you need to like
Well, I
pack
can't-
that sucker down, so you can get some more air in
I'm all
there.
sensitive about it.
Yeah, or you could get those turbine things. You
We do.
I have
We
one.
Manscaped.
Oh, yeah.
Manscaped. Yeah,
Manscaped.
we were
I have
sponsored with
one.
Manscaped.
Yeah. Use it for my ears and my nose.
No. This is a thing that you stick up.
Oh,
your
yeah, it's
nose
like
and it
waxing.
opens- yeah, like
Oh,
no,
yeah.
it opens your nostrils and you ride and it looks like you have a ring, like a nose ring, You remember them?
I thought they had those like just
Bands.
They're called turbines.
Yeah.
No,
Your-
but
your
there's
mic's
actually ones that
nowhere
go-
near your face, by the way. Bend that sucker over there. There we go. There we
There
go.
we go. I like
Yeah.
that. That's nice.
But there's like no, they actually go up into your nose. Look it up.
Not like the breathe rights. These are inside.
Inside, and
That
there's
is
the
messed up.
yeah. And I remember like friends that would race
What are
crits
the
with these things.
rhino
And I was
ones? When
like,
somebody has severe bloody nose, they
Oh,
cram
rhino
those-
rocket?
Rhino rockets. That is.
That's a
gruesome.
medical term?
It's a device.
Yeah.
Rhino-
For packing a nostril that won't stop bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
But this has a hole in it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Rhino
it's
rocket
like
does
it's-
not. It just goes up there.
Kind of like a nose tampon.
Yeah.
Ew. 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 I've learned a lot, and we're only starting the show. Wow. Speaking of which, he's the doctor that demands listener questions be provided in his dressing room with his M&Ms separated in their individual colors, Mr. David Waples. How are you, man?
I'm good.
I won't call you a diva because on this show that's technically taken and a mild insult.
Hi, Sam.
No.
What's
Sam's not a diva.
Carson.
Oh.
Carson.
Oh man, I
Carson's
almost
a
dropped an
diva.
F-bomb.
Yeah, be careful. Be careful. Mommy and daddy.
I'm gonna
are
have to
listening.
have the.
Santa would have known.
Yeah.
David, what's something that you do that you know is bad for you?
Starting a new house project.
Oh my god,
That's a good one.
that is so real.
one.
Because I've got quite a few going that, you just need a couple more days for.
Yeah.
I swear, it's just a couple more days.
Yeah.
A couple more days on about 10 projects. And almost ripped the mirrors off the bathroom wall today.
Just out of rage.
No, I just wanted to do it. I want to, move things along,
So you just start a project by, for example, you're sitting there in the bathroom taking a shit, and you look up and you go like, "Those are dumb."
I bet
and
I
you
could get those off.
You wipe your ass, you stand up, pants down around your ankle still, and just rip the mirror off the wall.
I wonder if I can do it without breaking it.
Yep. Crap, it broke.
Just for getting a new mirror.
Yeah. My wife does that. She's just like going, I don't know if I like the color in here. And she doesn't put the sample up. She
paint.
goes in and she buys a gallon of paint.
Goes for
And
it.
it's our hallway's a different color. I left this Sunday and I came home and our hallway's a different color. She's like, what do you think? I'm like, does it matter?
It's happened.
It's
Yeah.
a fashionable color, I will say.
It is. It's
nice.
really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife, that's her skill.
Yeah.
She just does that.
I mean, she did all this, right?
She picked all the colors, technically, yeah. And she was like, you got to make it, you got to do the whole peg hole thing and glory hole.
Whoa,
Different
whoa.
connotation.
Whoa.
Different connotation.
Whoa.
Yeah. That was all.
You just
her
took it
idea.
one step dirty.
Yeah. Third, he is definitely a witch doctor because my shoulders don't hurt after his magical touch, Mr. Sam Waples.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, no, first thing jumped right to my forehead because I was thinking, just did it on a trip down. I will plow through an entire box of Chipmates.
What are chipmates?
Yeah, right.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, it's my favorite. Okay, so back in my college days,
it's
like-
vegetable based.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Oh!
it's not good for you.
Like
it's
Olestra
the
chips that make you
rip-off
shit?
version of Chips Ahoy.
Oh, come on.
It's the Kroger version. And so, when I was in college, those were $1.88. And calorically, that was a gold mine. And so I would plow through a thing of those. Well, we stopped at Fred Meyer on our trip down to the Oregon coast. I got an entire... They're gone. They were gone in a matter of, 10 hours. A freaking case of them.
I thought you were going to say those Halo-themed Mountain Dews you used to drink all the
Oh,
time.
Game Fuel.
You walk
Don't
in.
tempt me.
You walk in. You look
That's
at.
heart attack stuff.
I know. It's good stuff.
Walk in. You look at the shelf, and it's just like, oh my god.
This is like, Father, I have confessed.
I'm so happy. The choirs are singing.
There was one box left, too, when I went in there. I was like,
Really?
that's a sign.
Yeah.
But they've gone up in
Wow.
price. They're $2.88 now.
Ooh.
Gosh, just
Nutter Butters
So
used
is
to be the
everything.
big way to weight gain.
Yeah.
Like your window to weight gain. Nutter Butters. What are you looking at?
Never got into
Asshole.
Nutter Butters.
Oh, well, there you go then. Next, he's the only person I stalk on Zwift, Mr. Jackson Bulger.
Oh,
You stalk me on Swift?
I get a notification
that's
when you
honorable.
finish rides.
Do you really?
Yeah, it
So
says,
that means you've turned on notifications.
Yeah.
Wow.
Somebody you know just finished a ride. I'm like, oh, Jackson finished a ride. How long you do? 1,200 watts. Damn it.
My life sucks.
Yeah. How are you, man?
Good, thanks.
Oh, I know how you're doing. I'm just asking for this.
You actually put a camera in my apartment.
Yes.
You know what
Yes.
everything goes.
By the way, the drapes that you chose in the bedroom are perfect.
Appreciate that.
You should have that mole checked on your back. I saw it in the shower.
They've been shaved off. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
gosh.
thing that I do that is probably bad for me. So
Does he
I
want
don't know
to
how
confess?
comfortable I feel.
You,
saying-
you need to.
Are we
is
far
Washington.
enough
He
into the
shaves.
show that students aren't listening? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's legal in Washington State.
It is legal in Washington State.
Next up, the
Wow.
host of our show.
Jackson got out of that one.
Yeah.
Me, I'm the guy who really hates himself for not being able to properly train this week. I have not done it. Alexa, shut up.
Oh my god, I was like, is that my
Kit
phone?
Harrington? What did we say that referred to
I
Kit
don't know.
Harrington? I love that I had to tell her to shut up. I'm Pat Bulger, and I'm going to say it. My thing that I do that's bad for me, I like gummy-induced popcorn late at night. When I've had a gummy bear, just a regular gummy bear, and I make popcorn.
Oh.
Do you do special seasonings like chili?
No,
powder
I just
Tabasco is the best.
I
Yeah.
actually have it, and it's no calories. It says it on the container, but it's a spray, a butter spray, and then I just do a nice.
can't believe it's not
salt
butter.
over it. No, it's not. It's just. It is
Have you
like a
tried
butter spray.
nooch over it?
What if?
That's like a sexual innuendo, Sam. I don't know if I feel comfortable.
That's a gooch.
First the
Why would I have a
driveway.
cooch over that? What the? Jesus. Out of the gutter, will you?
Oh, this is a good group.
What is this? What is this word you speak
Nooch, nutritional yeast. Yeah,
Oh.
it's like it tastes like cheese, but it's
Really?
like
Ish.
and it's yeah,
Ish.
but it's
Cheese-ish.
good. It's really good for you.
Yeah, but it's
of?
alive.
You lost me at good for you.
No,
but
I
it
get
doesn't-
my
It's alive,
I get my
yeah.
yeast this way.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. We already heard about my pathetic week. Everybody on the show knows what I don't want to. I don't want to do my other job. No. And so I've been in set building mode and set painting mode and stuff like that. So I haven't ridden at all. Last time I rode was last Monday, and I hate it. I hate myself for it. And yeah, that's it. Has anybody ridden this week? Please rub it in. Assholes.
I'll go next because I would say that mine's got to be the second lowest. I
Really?
rode, because I rode last Wednesday and then we left for Ignited. I rode this
you were
morning.
gone. Yeah, you were
Yeah,
gone.
so it was a good break, good forced break, but
Yeah.
that was it. 2 rides.
Well, how was the trip?
It was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, played pickleball. It's so fun.
And where are the old ones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Drink some whiskey.
Ooh.
Dry-ish.
You're back?
Oh yeah, dry-ish. January became not so dry-ish. Moist. Moist.
With a chance of showers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Gosh. Yep, that's mine.
I'm just really hoping I don't go like tomorrow is the 1st of February. I hope I just don't wake up and just like, day drink
yeah,
all day long.
bourbon.
It's just like going everybody's like, I'm at work and they're like, what's in your water bottle, Mr. Pat? Shut the fuck up.
It's been a long month.
One.
If I whispered it, was it okay?
Yeah.
No, okay. Yeah.
It's a half.
yeah, it's
You have like 2.5.
Yeah.
whisper it. Anybody else train? David, I'm going to get to you here in a second. Whoa, yeah. Just David has to go last because, yeah.
Training. Okay.
Jackson, Paul,
Yeah.
yeah,
Same thing as always. Zwift and then
Perfectly casual about
doing
it.
my
yeah.
thing.
Still holding the card close to the chest. In terms
Well, I
of,
mean,
not
Where am I going to race?
Yeah.
I'll be honest. It was just a ride,
Are
nothing
you
special.
depressed, Jackson? I'm worried about you.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, it snowed today. That adds.
Yeah.
Is that
so
it?
Yeah.
Are
I
you
hate
just like-
I hate riding inside.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
I hate it so much. And this has been the year that I've been like, I don't even want to
Yeah.
Wow.
train. Yeah.
I'm in the zone.
I'm in the
inside
zone right
I am
now.
too.
But
Let's go skiing.
no, just wait till I get outside.
Reaction.
No, sit
no.
down.
Shut up.
Just wait till I
Shut up.
But just like wait till I get outside. That's when I'll start training harder. That's like I get to go a place. This I just get to sit in the same room.
Yeah.
All right.
It sucks.
Okay. Paul, how's your training?
I got 3 indoor little events on the trainer. I did a 2-day today, but
I keep forgetting you get two
every
days
other
in.
Tuesday off. Yeah.
He's gonna
Then I
kick
canceled it out because my wife and I went to Maryhill and drank a bottle of wine.
Nothing wrong with that.
Each.
Yeah.
especially starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Each?
No, no. I wouldn't be here right now.
Really?
Yeah, if I had a
Today?
bottle of wine.
Or yesterday you went and drank a bottle of wine?
Today.
Today? Oh,
Today.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I was
So,
like-
yeah. Other than that, no, it's kind of hard. And I was looking at the forecast, and this is 45. We're supposed to be hitting the 40s. And I thought, I'm going out Saturday, 45 degrees potential. There's no reason for me not to, except that I have a continuing education class at
That
Northern Quest
sucks.
Casino for 8 hours, going over the new code
This Saturday?
this Saturday.
Oh.
That sucks.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be crap on Sunday.
I feel really bad for you, but I want you to know that inside I'm going, yeah! Because I can't train this weekend either. And I don't want you guys being happy in my absence.
fair.
I don't
Well,
want you enjoying your cycling
I'm
career.
going to say
any way,
something
shape, or
about,
form.
because you guys, we had a chat about training camps,
Mm-hmm.
and when you get close to 400 miles in a week, it's amazing. So, all the little RGTs that I do, all the segments, I increased all my time this week. I mean, I knocked it off
Really?
like 5-10 seconds off of my fastest time up in these segments, these climbs on this one, Leuven City. And then my FTP, they bumped up like 5 watts.
Wow.
That's just from 1 week. It had never changed all last year. And then
I'm telling you what, those locations I sent. For the listeners wondering, I did send some
Jackson
VRBOs.
did.
Yeah.
So
Chelan.
Yeah.
Very, very
Yeah.
nice
Mhm.
VRBOs. You got good taste, dude. Like,
I'm
hey,
down.
that's a pool/hot tub.
but split between 5 or 6 of us,
Mhm.
it makes it way better.
It's like $50 a night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
Hot
No.
tubs are
No.
for recovery. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Hot
And
tub
you
is
get drunk
raised-
fast.
And
Yeah.
for 5 dudes sitting in together,
Yeah.
we all got to sit in that.
yeah.
What? Suits weren't
Hey, the
optional?
jets aren't on. Why are there bubbles? Why are seem to be coming over you from you, Pat?
I heard
Um,
I heard a theory recently that swimsuits are bad for hot tubs.
yeah.
Are they?
Oh yeah.
If you hear it, it's
Wow.
probably true.
Yeah.
Well, they,
Yeah.
No.
Interesting
no.
fact about hot tubs before I leave.
I got a friend who's
Coming
a
out
doctor.
of David Waple's journal.
Yeah.
My friend who's a doctor
Yeah.
said I can't wear one.
I've got a note from him.
If you don't like it, look away.
Here's something interesting. I've heard it from 2 people, pro racers that do their well, Mads does it, and who else was it? Michael Schar, who's from Switzerland. They train for hot weather. This is what they
I
do.
heard about this, yeah.
So they'll train like in normal temperatures, 70, 80 degrees, and then they get in a hot tub for like 20 minutes at, well, it turns out to be like 170 degree water for 20 minutes, and they won't put only their heads out. And the condition
70?
107. Excuse me,
107, I'm like-
107 degrees.
That's like, wow.
170.
Yeah,
107.
107.
107.
Did
107.
these- did these-
107, not 170. 107.
107.
170 would
107
be like,
Yeah.
Those-
do these guys have any?
when you put it
prodigy?
into the water, it makes a
They already
sound,
have
but
kids,
that's
they're
just
done.
the air coming out.
They wear boxers.
They were okay. All right.
Yeah.
Man, that's-
And they got a doctor's note that they can go in naked.
yeah.
So
Yep.
there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
You
Suits
know,
or
you could
bubbles,
make
you choose.
money off of writing notes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like going
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like kind of key party,
See,
creepy
you and the
guys.
key party, this is week 2 of mentioning a key party. What do you want to do?
Put them on the table, guys. Anyway, David. First of all, how's the training been? Have there been any?
Yeah, trains. This kind of feeds into what I'm assuming you're going to ask.
We understand there's
just a few days a week.
We understand there's a newest member of your family. Congratulations.
Who's my bicycle?
Yes.
Yes.
I was about to be like,
I was like,
your wife is pregnant?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
David.
I was
David was
wondering.
like, "Oh my God, she told you guys,
you
not
found
me."
out first?
Yeah, it came last week right after the show. FedEx completely destroyed it. Like John Cena got a hold of the box or something, but the frame looks to be fine, so it's fine. Whatever. But
Oh yeah, carnage.
this box was destroyed on all sides,
Even the words "fragile" all over it.
all over it,
Shredded.
destroyed.
From Canada. It's not like it's coming from Europe.
No, it came
It's
from
come
Europe.
from Europe.
Yeah, Times
Yeah.
made in. It comes from
France.
That
Slovakia.
time was Canadian.
Nope. French.
But David, what was your training over the weekend?
Oh, it was my 30th birthday.
Oh, congratulations. Happy birthday.
Happy late
Yeah.
birthday.
So we went skiing in Park City. There's like 12,
Wow.
12 inches of powder that the first day. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Cross training.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just a few days here and there on the trainer, staring at a wall. I don't do Swift like you guys.
Am I the only one whose needle came off the record when I found out that you're just 30?
What's the Jackson?
That feels
Yeah,
so
I'm
old to
23.
me.
Yeah.
That feels so old. That blows my mind.
He's my son. I know his age. You're 30?
As of
Well, yeah, it's
Sunday.
weird because they act the same age.
Yeah.
Well,
Says something
Yeah.
about one of us.
Yeah.
Jackson,
Or maybe both.
you got 7 years to get your shit together.
I'm getting married this summer. Are you kidding?
One step at a time, Dad.
Will the new bike be on a trainer ever?
Not this year.
Not this year. Okay.
No. I'm gonna keep the old bike. It's got a little dent on it, and you know.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep the old bike on the trainer until this summer. So
That's
or
where
spring.
Specializes belong.
Oh,
Anyway.
yeah,
so-
exactly. This time it's
Just on the
way too pretty for a trainer. So
It's
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Does it have any scratches? No scratches?
It has like this tiny, I would call it like an abrasion. I think I can get it with wax. I don't want to go through the hassle of like creating trouble for everybody, but like FedEx really dropped the ball on this one.
Yeah.
And it did
They
have
dropped
like a
the box.
tiny, they dropped the box multiple times. multiple
And then they
times.
curb stomped it.
Yep. So I think it's just like a little tiny abrasion. I'm going to just wax it. I think it'll go away.
Well, let me tell
All
you about
bikes
scratches.
I was gonna offer to make the first scratch in case you needed it.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
I am pretty damn good at that.
Yep.
Well rehearsed.
Bikes get scratches, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Not by
Not on the first date by your dad.
Yeah.
It's never not funny.
No.
I was
He's derailed.
on the floor in my shop, rocking back and forth
Oh, no.
because I made the first major scratch on his bike.
And
Man.
there
Or
still
had
isn't
mile
another
one.
scratch.
What?
There still isn't another scratch.
No, it's still the
Oh, yeah,
biggest
there
one.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's
yeah.
got some chain slap.
Yeah.
I
And he had a car kind of take him out.
Oh
You know, no scratches.
Really?
From that, yeah.
Wow.
Just your shoes.
Yep.
I scratched a mountain bike frame pulling it out of the box because one of those staples.
Staples. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's pull
Oh,
the staples out. Yeah.
Yep, learned that one.
Oh,
Pulling it out of the box.
wow.
Yeah.
Don't do that at a bike shop.
I had a
At bike
Vetus.
shop.
I had a Vetus back in the day, and I was showing off to somebody that they were because the tubes in the Vetus were stained. They weren't necessarily painted.
Anodized.
Yeah, yeah. That's the cool word for stain.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I took an Allen wrench. And I'm like, yeah, look, they don't scratch. I went, bing, right on the frame, and it left a mark. And the guy looked at me like, going, "You're a dumbass." And I'm like, "Well, I am now."
Wait until the future comes.
Yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
I do it to my son's bike.
Yeah, this is the tip of the iceberg.
I'm just practicing.
I'm anxious to see that bike built up, man. I think it's going to be,
So I'm
and
still waiting on wheels. Apparently, it's going to be a minute because
Really?
Reynolds is coming out with some 21 mil internals, and I'm going to wait for those
So what width tire are you gonna go?
28s. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever
So-
go back to like 28s are. I
So
love it.
comfortable.
Well,
You just pedal harder.
Yeah, I'll geek out.
I mean, up to
28.
28. Up to 28 though, like research shows that you don't lose speed.
It depends.
Depends
There's
on
a
the
guy.
pressure.
Gosh, what's the name of it? Peak Torques or Torque Peaks or whatever. He does. He's an aerodynamic specialist on YouTube, and he did like different. It really depends on the width of your frame. So, what you don't want is that light bulb.
Right.
So,
Right.
and you don't want it too small, and then you're going to have problems. So the idea is that, that the air can come around and attach back onto the rim. That light bulb. I lost you.
yeah.
And is that?
How did you know
Anyway.
that? How did you know you
Yeah.
lost me? I'm like,
30 minutes later.
Yeah.
hell?
So
What?
And
I'd
wheels
do
are getting every
25s,
fatter.
but
28. I think 28 on the 21 with internal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That'll be
the
good.
way to go.
yeah,
It won't make that tire bulb
Yeah,
out too
the
much,
light
like
bulb
you said. Yeah.
looking thing. Yeah.
23s are like Telly though. Telly skiing, it's dead. 23s are dead.
Yes,
Yeah, I had a 23 on one of my wheels a couple years ago, and it was like, this is
So
not.
lost.
You Telly ski?
I really need to learn about tires.
Yeah.
I really need to pay attention.
Mr.
Tire
Gator
pressure.
Skin.
Because you guys are talking. I thought you guys
You
were talking
learn
about like.
tire pressure.
I thought you guys were talking about like comfort and stuff like that. You're talking about aerodynamics of your freaking tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
And then the
that's what
rolling
it came to.
resistance and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, you guys are obsessed. I just pedal harder.
My man.
Next time that we're out riding in the spring, if you're ever in trouble, just pedal harder.
Yeah.
A guy
will.
once told me, pedal harder.
That's
I
all
will.
it takes.
I will, and that'll make me so mad that I'll
I
just be
know.
like when you were like, hey Pat, that woman's passing you on the hill. I was like, well,
I forgot about
I'm gonna catch her then.
For the record, nothing wrong with women passing us.
No.
I think she was on an
Thank
e-bike
you for
though.
separating.
Right.
Yeah,
She was
she
on an
was,
e-bike,
yeah.
and you were just like, hey, you're getting chicked by an e-bike, and I was like, no, I can't because I'm a
And you murder yourself.
very shallow person. Is anybody now? Speaking of time, they've got the pedals are back. Is anybody?
I didn't know that.
Did anybody ride the pedals back in the day? Am I the only one who rode? You
I
did.
broke one of them.
You did. Really?
Yep.
I rode the hell out of them. I even had the clown shoes, the white shoes with the red straps.
Yes.
and
I
then
had
the
those.
back, the heel was green later on, so it was like a lime green. They were clown shoes, but they were comfortable as hell. They're made by Karnak. You had some Karnaks. Those Grey
Those-
Gourmand Karnaks.
those are
Karnaks.
so cool.
They were great shoes. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Does anybody have a new bike on the horizon? Why not?
No.
Paul?
No, because mine's fine. It looks fine.
You're just the oldest.
But I am thinking if something happens to it, time does still make a rim brake
Yeah.
frame set. So that's how I
Yeah.
would replace it.
Yep.
And time is stellar.
If you could buy a new bike right now, would you?
No.
Paul wouldn't?
Nope.
Sam, would you?
I mean, I guess if money was no object, sure. Why wouldn't I always have a new bike? But I mean, like looking at it, I'm thinking I have money that I could spend towards a new bike, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna just race a bunch and travel with bikes this
Amen.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna spend my money on.
Jackson, would you buy a new bike?
Yeah, are you kidding me?
What I mean, you don't have to be brand specific. You guys can be brand specific. We don't have a bike sponsor, so
Yeah.
you know what would you ride?
I would not get a new road bike. I'd get a new gravel bike.
You would.
Yeah. I would probably stray away from a steel frame. Probably go more towards like a Canyon Grizzle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah. I think that would change the game. I'd probably ride gravel more.
Would you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I already signed up for my first gravel race that I'm not gonna race in.
When is it?
Don't change.
It's
man.
April 1st.
Change. Stay you. Stay the you are because we believe in you, Sam.
Well,
I just
this,
want to keep
signing up
donating
for
money.
races, giving them the money, and stay in the hell home.
this year, though, I will say, if I were to take my current gravel bike to a bike shop, get it all done over,
Yeah.
I would consider doing events.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just because, like, what's been standing in my way is the bike. So, this
Yeah.
year, now that I'm a working man,
Yeah.
might as well just get it handled.
Totally.
I know a guy who could probably find you one.
Yeah. Are you talking about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
Now I know how you felt when we were talking about tires with this gravel
You just
talk.
see the gravels.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's
it's like the Charlie Brown.
See his
picture.
eyes just glaze over.
Paul, if you could buy a bike, would you buy one though?
I don't see any need for it. I don't, I'm very happy and content. I just think that would be excessive. But the only reason I would get a new one is that if mine broke or failed. But
Sure.
I really do. I enjoy what I have. I don't think there's any really need for electronic shifting. I mean, it's nice. It's not that it's bad, but mine's fine. And for everything that I use my bike for, it's perfect.
I know, and that's my thing. Is like I
think
love
it's
my
the
bike.
F
It fits
button.
well.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
the F button. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm in the same boat though. I'm still living off of that junior dream when we were all juniors of someday we're going to be good enough that we're going to get a bike sponsor, and a bike sponsor company's going to send us free bikes. That'd be sweet. That was the be all end all of human existence in those years, and I'm still living out that fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
I love my bike. I really like my bike. It rides well, shifting me. But other than that, I mean, it's a great bike. But I'm always going, ooh, look at that one.
I'm
that
curious.
one's blue.
I think that's human. I think that's just like in us as humans. We all just want the new thing.
But
Yeah.
I'm curious if somebody came and offered you a new. I'm not gonna like roll a bike brand underneath the bus.
shit
like,
one?
Yeah, one that like is like
A Schwinn Prologue.
okay,
Decathlon.
well nicer than that, but
Remember
like
the decathlons?
where
Yeah.
your bike is like equivalent.
Yeah.
I mean, would you jump on that? Because me personally, I am so specific
very-
about
I'm
that I'm like, it would take a lot for somebody to, and I don't like, man.
That's a weird question though. 'Cause
It is?
It's a weird question because his bike is all mechanical, rim brake, and everything, and then to say that somebody offers you a brand new bike, that is almost, no matter what brand new bike, that is taking it up a level.
It's a
I'm not
disc,
saying that
and-
your bike is at all poor. What I'm saying is like
You're a peasant.
electronic shifting it's way snappier.
It's way better.
Disc brakes,
Yeah.
we all know, are better. I'm only looking at Paul.
You're riding subpar equipment, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying you're riding subpar equipment. It's just it is a bit of a change.
It is. But I have to say that I am still under the belief that the day I lose a race because my electronic shifting versus cable shifting, I probably should not drink as much and maybe do a couple more intervals. I mean, honestly,
That's true.
I think
Yeah.
I could be wrong. God knows, you guys talking about tires, and I'm still riding around with 100 pounds of pressure in every bike I own, including my mountain bike. So I have other problems to fix. Apparently,
Yes, you do.
the electronic shifting I don't think is going to save my bacon.
No, I'm not saying it's going to save your bacon. What I'm saying is it's like it is. I mean, you can tell a difference when
Oh,
you
it's
say
beautiful.
Yeah, when you
It
say
is
that you have a
beautiful.
difficulty with shifting, like
Yeah.
immediately I think like
Yeah.
that's going to just clean that up.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
because I don't maintain my shifting very well, and I drink. Apparently, I miss my mouth when I'm drinking sugary waters because it's like
All over your bike.
Yeah, I look like the woman from Flashdance. I'm just spraying it all over my face.
You're a
That's another
maniac.
reference. Thank you.
I had this interesting experience over winter break. I was with my in-laws, no bikes there in Missouri, was getting very pent up,
Okay.
drinking too much, eating too much, a food that I didn't usually eat, and I just needed to go on a bike ride. And this kind of ties into getting new bikes because the only thing in that house was a 1990s Cannondale aluminum like CAD 3 or something.
Yeah.
Down tube shifters, no clipless pedals, nothing. I threw on sweatpants, the boots I'm wearing right now, and a long sleeve T-shirt.
Oh, jeez.
And I went for a 50-mile ride and averaged 20.5 miles an hour.
Yep.
Because
Loved
I
it.
was so, like, I was like on. I just needed an outlet. And I got back and I was like, what the hell? That was like a really fast ride in my boots and sweatpants on a 1990s bicycle. What am I doing with this really fancy bike? Like, this is insane. Oh, and 23s.
Yeah.
There was 23s on that bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What do you say to that, Jackson? Anyway, locally we have a fat bike race coming up. And would any of you race it if you had a fat bike? If somebody actually handed you one
Do
today,
they
would
still
you go
make
race
them?
it?
Yeah, so they're still around.
Absolutely. 49 degrees north, local ski resort. I think Wheel Sports involved with it. One of our local shops is actually hosting it and sponsoring it. A fat bike race in the snow. Would anybody do it? Anybody here? If you
Pay
had
for-
a bike, if
pay for
somebody
entry.
handed you a bike tomorrow, no, you always paid for your entry. You'd pay for entry and not
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Oh, okay. I thought you said if they paid for entry. You're like, no, I'll pay for entry.
No. I'll pay for it. I just don't want to show up.
I don't know if I want to get cold anymore.
No, I'm
I'm
done.
too soft.
Does that make me a terrible
Yeah.
person?
I'd do it.
yeah, I'm
You would?
assuming if they're
Yeah.
giving me a bike, I'd be warm too. Like I'd
Yeah.
have the gear to stay warm. So why not?
Jackson, you really do it?
Are you kidding me? Anything to get outside
Oh,
and
yeah,
feel
okay.
competitive
Yeah, yeah,
again?
yeah.
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 And go 8 miles an hour. That's
Yeah,
As long as it's
that's
faster
tough.
than the others.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to skip that. We're going to go to a little bit of our news headlines because we haven't done news for a while. I think last week I canceled the news because was it last week or the year before?
I think it was last week.
I canceled the news. News brought to us by our friends at Gooder Sunglasses. The code Packfiller15 is still going strong. Grab your great eyewear before it's gone. damn it. This is the biggest news story out there, by the way, in my opinion. Here we go. Quote, different things are important in my life, not only the bicycle. The one and only Peter Sagan said that late on Thursday evening as reporters huddled around him in a VIP tent at a concert by the Argentinian rock band La Berizo on the outskirts of San Juan, his chosen venue for the announcement of retirement from road racing at the end of the season was oddly fitting in its own way. That's right. All good things must come to an end, and this is one of a biggie. This will be Peter's last season in the World Tour. I hope the camera is strictly zoomed in on Jackson's face right now.
It was before.
It was. It should be now. In 2024, he plans to focus on the mountain bike, especially the Olympic Games in Paris. And I do want to start with Jackson here. How did this news affect you?
I've been thinking about it for like 3 or 4 years. I was wondering, when is the day when
Writing on the wall kind of thing?
Not even writing on the wall. It's just like the day that he retires. I knew it was going to come eventually, and I knew I was going to be sad about it. But I think that he'll definitely go down in like a Hall of Fame type of rider. He's one of the only riders to go back to back. Yeah.
World
Championships. And then just he's done so much for our sport. I think he's made it a little less serious in a lot of ways. He's a legend, and it makes me sad. But
record holder for green jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually wrote here, he was and is a cycling rock star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think I think he deserves all of the accolades and all that stuff. Over the past couple of years, I think that it hasn't been the best, like, I don't know. I think it's shown the decline of what COVID brought on him.
3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a sad day for me.
Yeah.
I think that 2025 we will see a very specific Unbound champion.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you think he's
That's
going to
a good
go
prediction.
rally?
He's mentioned it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he is the one pro that, he's still like, he's not like
33.
very old, yeah. And I think that he is still, obviously he's still World Tour fit, so he could probably carry that over, and I would see him being one of the very few high-end pros to go that way.
Anybody have any thoughts on what he could do this year? He's been up there in San Juan.
I was such a Peter Sagan fanboy too. I just think he's done. I think it's cool that he's going to go out with the mountain biking. He was so much fun. Like, man, that was my peak of racing, is seeing him. Like, I raced Richmond the year before he won Richmond, right? And so it was like so cool. And then to see him go and do the mountain bike Olympics instead of road, all that, like, super cool. But I just think his time is done.
Oh.
I think it is. Like, yeah, I know. But if you think about it, he hasn't really been at the front for years, and there's so much competition out there. Like, there's other people that are younger. Like, Van Aert is Peter Sagan a decade sooner, right?
Yeah.
Or earlier. It's just...
God, that's depressing as hell.
It is sad, but also on that same note, you do wish that he would,
sell my bikes.
have some cool note to go out on. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I love
he
this.
did a great career.
I would love a Milan Sanremo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I will say, I think he revolutionized what the sprinter can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He changed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
Completely.
Especially in those green jerseys where he would gain most of his points on medium mountain stages where he would go over the first peak in the front group, get those points, and secure that jersey.
We now see Wout doing the same thing.
I mean, I was reading this article on his retirement, and wasn't it that he's only won, it's under 10 stages at the tour. It's not
Is that
actually...
it? Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah, he
startling
was never
low.
a pure upfront sprinter.
I mean,
like
I
that.
want to say the number that's coming to my head is 7. Like, he's won 7 stages in the 7 years that he's won the green jersey. And, it's not like one per year. It's, but there was years where he didn't win at all, and he won the green jersey.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Doesn't he have one of the most second places in
Yeah.
all of the Tour de France history?
He Polydor, the whole thing. Raymond Polydor.
He
did
was
that
definitely and maybe this is why Jackson and Sam also will be sad to see him go, because this is our era. He was like the first cycling hero for me. was
yeah.
Sagan.
He was Jackson's first
Yeah.
for sure.
Still
wasn't
is.
he? Yeah.
Like he just continued to be a hero when he would like show up with hairy legs. And,
Yes.
like kind of step back from cycling and stop taking it
And
so
just have
seriously
fun.
while still being a legend.
Yeah.
So and then
Totally.
he'd go to the Tour of California as a sprinter and like destroy everybody. Like
He
just-
gets called
And he
out.
actually won the overall.
Gets
Yeah.
called out, and then he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you want the overall win? Okay."
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was interesting, like what David said, is that they talked to, I think it was Remco and a couple other younger guys. They said, yeah, I mean, that's who they looked up to was him, you know, and he did change a lot. And I think it's great that he's leaving because, not because of wins. I think it's just like, you know, I've had enough. I want to do. Mountain bike is what got him into road racing.
Yeah.
And that's what he had fun. And the pressure, you know, even as a poor amateur that I was, the pressure to get up to the next category, and the sacrifices you make even at this low level, I can't imagine on the world tour. So, I mean, he's got a kid he wants to see that's 5 years old now. I mean, I think it's brilliant. I think it's good, and I think he did wonders for the sport. And I think
best
that's
of
the
luck.
best way to exit. Like he said, I don't want to just fizzle out on the, you know, like the Vuelta, the last stage of the Vuelta, and then, you know,
Yeah.
because I'd rather just do something I like and finish my career as doing mountain bikes.
Yeah.
I stopped
And then-
shaving my legs when he did.
Did you?
I'm gonna say that. Yeah. Ever since he showed up to a race with
Shout out to Bianca.
hairy legs. Yep, I haven't shaved since. 'Cause
Really?
if he can do it with hairy legs.
Are they back to full growth yet?
Oh yeah, I haven't shaved in
Oh.
years.
Years.
30-year-old over here. Getting the pubes. I thought you were older. I think it was the beard that made me
There's
think
some
you were
gray
older.
in there.
Yeah. That's
From
that's
work.
the gig.
Who did
man.
you
Yeah.
think? Who did you think was older?
I honestly didn't know.
Okay,
Oh, that hurts
well,
me.
I didn't know.
That's a win.
That was
You
really
want to be older?
devastating.
You just
I am
wanna
the
stay
oldest
older.
brother.
I
yeah.
know, but you want to be older?
Because
Yeah.
he is.
I am.
You want to be you? Let's switch gears, you guys, and talk cyclocross worlds. This weekend will be the all but Pidcock edition. You got to say that carefully, which is basically an opposite of last year, as was the absence of Lucinda Brand, last year's winner for the women. So we've got basically a guaranteed new world champion in cyclocross this weekend. Besançon, France is the location. You guys, I handed you guys out some very blurry printouts from our friends at the Union Cycliste Internationale. And I gave you guys hopefully a chance to look at everything, unless you're like me, and we can talk about the fact that the sport has, especially cyclocross, it's been kind of dominated by very specific riders, both in the men's and the women's this last year, regardless of the argument over start fees and people who've been being paid very handsomely to show up at races. Where several of the other riders aren't getting the same thing, which is what you see in the men's category. But that being said, those start fees apparently have paid off, because I don't know if I can't remember a better cyclocross season.
No.
And I've loved every single second of it. And I think one of those riders who gets the incredible start fees is probably going to win this bad boy. So does anybody have anything outside of the norm of what you would pick, or do you guys just want to jump right into the picks themselves?
Yeah,
Silence.
I don't
I'll-
know. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that, you know, on the men's and women's side, there's just been, you know, just a few
Such a
handful.
crush,
And,
yeah.
And Pidcock not showing up, he didn't really shine this whole year. It was not his year. And it really, if it was Wout that was there and no Vanderpool, it was just a Wout show. And
Yeah.
same with Vanderpool, like this weekend.
Or the one
So-
Pidcock race where he had it, and then he tried to
Do a
kind of show
tail
off
whip.
a little bit. And then
Yeah, but Wout and Vanderpool weren't there.
yeah.
On that one. So, yeah, it's, you know, getting back to the pay, I don't think they're getting paid to go to the Worlds.
No,
Let's
no,
make that
exactly.
clear.
So there's
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it has been the closest, and I've watched it for the last like 4 years between Matthew and
Wow.
Wout. Those two, either one has a good year or the other. They're neck and neck. They are neck and neck, so it'll be an exciting race.
And it seemed like earlier in the season, Mathieu van der Poel was kind of coming into fitness, and it seems like he's got it now. And especially that if last week was it last week or 2 weeks ago, that
last week,
incredible.
Yeah.
If you miss the race,
before.
go on YouTube and watch the last 7 minutes, and that's basically
the last lap was
the race.
just
Yeah,
crazy.
Both in the men's and women's in that race, and I'll even go first, and I'll say, barring a hotel room incident with young girls pounding on his door in the middle of the night, I'm going to pick Mathieu van der Poel to win the men's, and for the women, I'm just basically apparently a gigantic fan of Alpecin shampoo, because I'm also picking Puck Peters, who writes for Alpecin shampoo. They're both Alpecin de Koenig.
I'll do Puck. I'll agree with you on that, but I'm going with Wout because Matthew's having problems with his back. It was a little bit better this weekend, so that's when they went head to head. I think Wout actually came ahead, so I'm going to roll the dice on that one.
I will go. I'm going to pick Puck Peters as well, and then I'm gonna follow Paul's lead here, and I was gonna pick Wout van Aert anyways. Because if there is any sort of, I would say, out of the norm terrain, I think that Wout is the one who is better equipped for that. So anything that, barring a gigantic catastrophe, I think that, I think those are mine.
Was it always that Wout was going to show up? Because I could have sworn he
thought he wasn't
for
gonna.
a while. That's what I was under the understanding.
I thought it was literally just going to be Mathieu for a while. And that's why everybody's like, well, enjoy Rainbow, Mathieu.
Yeah.
I thought he was in the whole time.
So did I.
Okay. Well,
I honestly, I don't know. Yeah, if it's a technical course, Wout. But I haven't seen the course. And so I think Mathieu hasn't, done as well. And he's been ramping up towards Worlds. So I would lean towards Mathieu for the men's, and then Puck for
and he's
women's.
privatizing his Strava. You can't follow him on Strava.
what? Then his rides don't exist.
No, they don't.
Then he won't
So
get
he's
his
just
world's
sitting
medal
home.
because it didn't happen.
He's sitting home eating fake Chip Ahoy cookies.
Yeah,
Chip
with
balls.
with his cooch on his popcorn.
Nooch.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry. Get that cooch off my popcorn. David?
I feel like a little bit like Pat listening to tires right now.
Yeah, right?
I don't know a lot about cyclocross, but I see here that this Jens Adams is Belgian, and from Racing Crits, I know you never mess with Belgians.
It's the second name on the list. You
It's
just
literally because it says Belgium right next to it.
number
And,
3,
Same with
Belgium.
And his
Wout's
name is
Belgian.
Jens.
yeah, and his name is Jens. So
Yeah.
And then obviously,
Shut up,
I want
legs.
this Puck person to puck things up. So,
Puck.
but I
Puck it
have
up.
no idea what I'm talking about.
Puck it
I
up.
haven't seen much.
I like your choices.
You
Yeah.
should
thank
pick
you.
Clara
Great
Honsinger
reason.
because I want somebody to pick
That'd be
Clara Honsinger.
crazy though
you know.
if this Jens Adam guy just
He's Belgian.
if
Yeah.
he wins. That'd be
You
just
cannot-
like
What's his
What
ranking?
if-
What's his ranking?
From out of
The
nowhere.
other person that I was
Comes
thinking was
Jens
Lars
Adams?
van der Haar.
he's
Yeah.
10. Jens is 10.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that
Van
did,
der Haar has not
He's
been doing
Belgian.
so well.
Am I the only one that didn't know there was a David van der Poel?
You know, his brother's been there forever. Yeah, they race and they
His
race on
brother's
the
older.
road. Yeah.
Look at that.
Well,
Yeah.
his UCI
It's like
rank
Peter
is
Sagan
not
all over
very-
again.
Yeah.
Like, what's Peter's name? Brother's name?
Yuri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very-
Uri. Uri.
Uri.
Uri.
Who cares about Uri?
Whoa.
Let's be real.
Let's be real.
let's
He
be
gets
honest.
tagged along because his brother loves him.
Well, same
yeah, I
with
bet you know a lot
his
about
posse.
the shark.
Yeah.
I bring you
Shark
into this
Messina.
world.
His brother followed him everywhere he went.
He did.
To every team.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is what.
You
No,
guys-
you know what? I'm gonna cool it. I'm not gonna drop an F-bomb.
So you take your brother everywhere you go?
Who was on Audi? Who was on River City first? Who was on Audi first? Who was on
Who's
Delive
But
first?
why did they keep you?
God, you're the worst. Oh,
Oh! Oh!
Ow.
Mom. I drink to forget.
Yeah.
That's been there for a month. Trust me.
Let's finish this.
Yeah. Bike racing continues, although somewhat diluted scale. Did anybody watch the Tour of San Juan? Paul, I know probably did.
I watched actually highlights. I didn't get too much involved.
Okay, because I can go out there and say the coverage was terrible. There were so
terrible.
many. Now, mind you, I'm sure Venezuela doesn't have great
Reception in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and
It's
Isn't
a
it-
long
is it
straight
Argentina?
road. It's Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said
Did I-
Venezuela.
did I say Venezuela? I meant Argentina.
Oh, okay.
It's all the same.
No, I apologize. I screwed up.
Oh.
So, yeah. No.
I didn't mean to-
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there were a lot of stretches in the stages where it was helicopter shots of the mountains because they didn't have the coverage to get to the race, and in some cases it wasn't until probably the last 2 or 3K.
Well, did you see some of the
Coverage will come
straights
back up.
on there?
Oh yeah,
Oh my God.
just
I
dead.
was like, that's like a paradise for me.
Yeah.
Like just long straight road.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So
just
I'm
stick my head down and just like grind.
so you should watch the Saudi tour then.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
there is.
No, I know.
Oh,
I've been up to that
God.
UAE tour.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, am I wrong?
Last day.
Is
No,
it
no,
UAE?
no. It
Oh,
is
UAE.
Saudi.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh my
UAE
God, he's
is
just
also the
correcting me
same.
left and right.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
too many stupid
You're
races.
still wrong, Dad.
I did. I'm not a fan of the Saudi tour. I'm not. I don't give a shit about it
I
because
like it. It's a sprinter right now.
boring.
It's just a sprint
Yeah.
to see where they're at and see people lose their cell phones because they're hanging out.
That was brutal. Yeah. Who was it? The guy-
Jakobsen.
Yeah, Fabio Jakobsen.
Yeah,
Guy had his
Jesus.
phone out, hit him right in the face, took his glasses off, and the phone hits the
40 miles an hour.
Yeah, full sprint.
Oh.
Yeah. And on top of it, the Mallorca Challenge I actually enjoyed, though, because it was the format of 5 single-day races back-to-back. So every rider gets another day.
Yeah.
You know?
And who won the last day?
Nielsen Palace.
Nelson Palace. Oh,
It was a great.
yeah.
That was a great day racing.
Yeah.
He played it smart.
Yeah.
He's. I think he's a big day rider. He
Yeah,
could
he
have.
is.
He could have a classic. I think.
Yep, I think so too.
Etoile de Bessage starts tomorrow. And I remember that being a good race last year. I don't know why.
I thought so
don't
too because I remember watching it.
Yeah. All right, let's get to tonight's topic, shall we? Yes, we probably should. It actually coincides with tonight's Ask Dr. David. I want to talk about the lifelong cyclist and the pros and cons of such a lifestyle. So, before we get to the big issue of the question itself, everybody in this room, where is cycling on your list of priorities in your life? If you had to say the top 5, where would cycling be? Would it be in that top 5? And if so, what number would it be? And I assume you might have a spouse or family member listening, so choose incredibly wisely. But you can wink at me if we know it's higher than that.
I can start this one.
Okay.
Paul's blinking both eyes. Look over here, David.
It's definitely in the top 5.
Yeah,
I have to put the wife and family
sure.
above it.
No, you have to. You really have to.
I feel like I'm supposed to put work above it,
Yeah.
but I don't think I can.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably number 3 for me, honestly. Like I think because I can't do a good job at work if I don't get time on the bike and time to myself. So it's I'm gonna say it's number 3 behind my wife and then my family. So yeah.
I would say number 2, only that I would combine wife and family. Like if any one
Yep.
of them are calling,
Whamly.
then it's like, yeah, exactly. Then it's like, oh yeah, no, I need to do that. Like,
Yeah.
but it's, if Jeff ever listens to this, it is above work. It is 100% above work because like I am a way better person when I can ride my bike.
Yep.
And especially in healthcare, like having to deal with other people's aches and pains and stuff. If you're like not purging that from your soul on the bike, then it's like, oh God, it's draining.
Paul?
Yeah, I would put it.
Something in your eye, man? You okay?
Yeah. Wow, I just seem to be blinking a lot. Well, like, here's a little story about
It's practice wise.
Sean Kelly.
Okay.
So Sean Kelly lost the race in the sprint, and his wife was sitting on their brand new car on the fender. And he goes, and when he finished, he crosses the line. She's waiting there, and he says, "Get off the car." And she goes, "I swear, your priorities are the car first, bicycling, then me." And he goes, "You're wrong. It's cycling the car, then you."
Oh my God.
God.
That's terrible.
He's still married. So
Wow.
that's
a
a
miracle.
legendary quote. So I don't know how accurate it is, but yeah, it is. Cycling became obviously you still have to bring it back, and sometimes
Sure.
I've found there's where I put it before family, and that's never a good thing. But it's wife and family, or if they're in need, yeah,
Sure.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to.
That's like,
Easy.
yeah, you can think of people that we all know people that like put the bike first, and it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's
ins
just
and
sad.
tears. It just
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah, they were probably ride Pinarellos.
probably.
with disc brakes,
Yeah.
electronic shifting.
Electronic shifting.
Yeah.
Hey Jackson, where do you put it? I mean, you're new to this. You're starting the whole family thing.
Yeah, I'm 3 years. Yeah, I don't know if I'm like terribly new, but I think that.
No, I just mean new to the whole family, and the priorities are building.
I mean, we've been together for what, 7 years, so it's like I think it's like Sam was saying. I kind of combine the soon-to-be wife and family into one, and then it probably is the bike and then work, because it's funny because when I'm at work, sometimes I think I do this to make money, so I can live my life and ride my bike.
Yeah.
As terrible as that sounds, but I do really have a passion for what I do in terms of work, but I do really treat cycling as like a very large part of my life. So probably a 2.
It's such an important
2 or a
outlet.
3.
It is.
Yeah.
When somebody asks you about yourself, like, tell me about yourself. About how long until you mention the sport?
That I'm faster than my brother and I'm also taller. It's about the second thing out of my mouth.
Yeah, but he's a better dancer. I've seen him. I just thought I'd throw it out there.
God.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Does it come out really quickly?
I don't feel
Oh,
it.
Well, I'm a.
Yeah,
I'm
it
a-
comes out
blah,
very
blah. Usually, you
quickly.
say what you do for a living.
Yeah.
And
What
then
do you like
after
to
that-
do? I like to ride my bike.
I'm a bike racer.
Yeah, I am obsessed with bikes. Is probably how I'm most.
And then they say
often.
something, and you're like, "What's the longest you've ever ridden?" 130 miles. Wow, at once? Yes, at once.
You've only ridden 130 once?
No, at once, at one time.
No, I
in
know.
one sitting.
You've only
he's
done that
bragging.
130 in
know
one
what?
He's
sitting.
bragging.
I mean, that's like
I got a medal when I did it, though.
Yeah, and you got
I got
to
a
just,
YouTube video.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you make money off of it?
congratulations on that. Are there any sports other sports that you actively participate in, or that have gone away because of your obsession with the sport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soccer. I still,
Was that a choice? Was that, or is that just a natural progression for you?
yeah, it was, I guess you could say a natural progression. I quit. Well, not quit. I stopped playing soccer, and then cycling was just the next thing. But then I still had a very large interest in the sport of soccer itself, which I still do, but it's not as big as I drink out of a World Cup glass.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely transitioned over into cycling.
My downhill skiing has disappeared. I was a downhill ski racer first before I became a cyclist. And my father looked at me one day and he was like, "Dude, you picked the 2 most expensive sports on the planet. You got to pick one." And I picked bike racing. And my skiing
You made
life,
a good choice, by the way.
Well, my skiing life, I love skiing. I love downhill skiing. I haven't done it in 3 years, and it's kind of missing in my life, but
Does Michelle like to downhill ski?
not anymore.
And that's
Not
why
anymore.
I asked you, because like for me, I honestly, like God, I'm so similar to Paul in this way that it's like I would just ride my bike every single day. That's all I ever want to do.
Do it, really.
That's all I would do. And like I do enjoy hiking. I do enjoy cross country skiing, but those are because my wife likes to do them.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked, is because like if Michelle was thinking like I want to go downhill skiing, you'd go tomorrow.
I probably would,
Yeah.
but now I'm at the point where it's like she doesn't like to do it anymore. 'Cause she doesn't like being wet and cold.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her.
So then you just bike.
Yeah, and so I just sit on the Zwift.
I stopped rock climbing because it just kind of felt like it was counterproductive to road biking. Your arms get bad.
God,
Trying
isn't
to
that-
live
yeah.
that T-Rex life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was into rowing in college. I missed that desperately, and it's a different type of a team effort, and that I really did enjoy that. There's no way I was gonna join a rowing club.
We could do that.
outside of that, but no.
I grew up rowing.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny
Just make
for
a
me.
two-man
Two.
team.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I made my transition. I got into golf like my senior year in high school. And that takes
Golf?
up, yeah.
You?
Yes.
God, that
And I even have a hole-in-one in my history. And I still have the clipping that was in the Spokesman Review. So, but the thing is that golf is. I don't know.
just blew my mind. I mean,
Because it's a mental game. It really is.
What,
and
the
I
hole
like
in
that
one or
part.
the fact that he cut it out of the Spokesman
no,
Review
the
and still
fact
has
that
it?
he ever played golf.
I played
didn't
football,
see
basketball,
the golf.
baseball. I tried everything, and football. That's a short lived. You'll never, For me, I was just high school. They asked me to walk on at Eastern. I'm like, they're gonna saw me in two. These guys are just muscleheads. Basketball was something that I had okay talent, but I played, when I was in college, intramural, and then anytime I did pickup games, different places in church clubs and stuff like that, leagues and stuff. And that one I could play, but when people started snapping their Achilles when they got older, I thought, I'm done with that. And then
golf.
baseball was fun, but that is just too much for, to try and get involved. I did enjoy that, but golf was one of those things that I always had my golf clubs when I was in college. I actually took a short-term loan so I could go golf spring quarter. So, but then the thing is I got into cycling. I couldn't do both.
Sam's eyes are about to fall out of his
Yeah.
face because
And-
it's like you are not the golf type. You're too.
That blows my
You're
mind.
too revenge and angry, Phil.
Yeah, the thought of you meditating on a golf course is I can't think of something that has actually confused me this much.
Like I hit a tee shot and Paul goes, "Oh, you got a hold of that one."
Yeah.
oh my god,
For show,
Yeah.
but for dough. Fuck golf.
To me,
Hate golf.
it was challenging because
Hate
you'll
golf.
never ever master it, and that was the appeal. I know I'll never be good. Same with
I'll
cycling.
never be
You'll
a
never.
climber, but I'm okay riding mountains.
But the thing is what happened is that wasn't my true passion.
okay.
And I'm going to go back to Stu that I went and visited down there. And he went down there and he said he was golfing a lot. And he'd ride. And every time he was golfing, you see cyclists go by and he's like, I need to go for a ride.
Yeah.
He says, I finally cut out golfing. I never go by a golf course thinking, I should be golfing. And that's how I am. It's like, man, I don't miss it at all. But at that time, I was pretty big into golf.
I'm so bitter about golf.
It's like going by the 7 mile
Hate it.
downriver.
Yeah.
Downriver.
Yeah, when somebody's about to putt,
Yeah.
I just want to go, eat shit.
Nice shot.
Miss it, Noonan. Miss it. Noonan.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah.
No. Be the ball.
I just hate that. I hate the game. I think it's because I was forced to play it as a child, and I played it with my father. And my father was such a rate of play, high stress kind of guy, and so he would kick my ball because we're playing too slowly because I couldn't hit it far enough. So basically, that's saying like, "Hey, buddy, thanks for coming out and play with me, but you suck."
I have a great
Yeah, my dad doesn't listen this far into the show, so I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm
Yeah.
so good. Are there any physical issues that have been caused by cycling that have been? I want to talk about the negative elements, physical issues that you found toward that the sport that has caused you. For example, I mean, I've always been like, my legs are the strongest thing in the world, but oh shit, my shoulders suck because I don't pay any attention to them and stuff like that. Have you guys found any ongoing issues or aches and pains? I know, Jackson, you've had a knee issue that's ongoing from one big ride on a poorly fit bike.
Yep. That's it.
That's it.
Yep.
And it still comes back?
Here and there, not really that much anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially with, this guy sitting over here.
Yeah.
But,
Hey, magic hands.
Magic hands. The witch doctor.
but yeah, no, that's about it. We all got the roadie neck, but
I know. That's what my first thought was when you were asking that question. Is look at everyone in this room.
And we all
I'm arrow AF.
we have shit posture.
Oh
We have horrible posture.
yeah.
What's up? Like Mitch McConnell. I don't know about that.
It's like you could just literally fold us into an office chair
Yeah.
and you could just see the same thing all
If we
day.
had suspenders, it could very well likely pull our shoulders together in
Yeah.
the center. Just pull
Like
them
Calvin Jones.
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
I think
exactly. Guy was all ribs.
Yeah, what I'm fortunate about is that, like, for my back, actually, because I have bad back issues, is
Jackson's cracking.
Right.
Right.
Well, I'm just like without
Yeah.
back support. You know?
But I have a thing they call a spondy, which is where my spine will slip forward,
Okay.
and so that actually is really conducive to riding a bike, because it puts me in a flex position. So it's actually really good for my back. But there's definitely other things, like any other cyclist has weak hips, which I definitely have. It's not conducive to getting through your daily life, all that stuff. So I've, developed those from biking, which I still wouldn't change it.
So that takes us to the question for David here. The theory that overdoing it, such as being a lifelong cyclist, can actually lead to heart issues.
Buckle up.
What?
Buckle up.
Yeah.
This is a lecture.
And many top pros have dealt with it. Sean Yates is one that comes to mind. There were several other that I had listed, and of course
Leonard
I didn't
Zinn?
type him out. Leonard Zinn. Yeah.
Leonard Zinn,
I mean,
yes.
like pros.
Sonny Gabrelli, was he one of them?
Sonny
Or-
Gabrelli had
Gabrelli
Sonny
has-
Gabrelli.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Michael Rogers, who is a big successful winner of one of the Tour of Californias.
And locally, too. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
ton of riders that have been riding since your guys' era that, have had to
Just
go
can't
in
do
and,
it.
Yeah.
Which is a specter. Another thing that keeps me up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, that I'm just like, what happens to the day that I can't do this? I can't say that. But so your general thoughts, gentlemen. We always ask the group first before we go to David here in terms of what you guys think about the theory of this. Is it legit? Is it genetic? Is it due to repeated stress? Is it due to drinking too much beer? Is it due to dancing in a forest before John Proctor came along and found you? That's a literary reference of the Crucible that nobody's going to get.
I get it.
Really fell flat.
No.
Really
I was
fell
in the
flat.
play.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, there we go.
Over my head.
Jokes aren't landing tonight. Initial thoughts. Anybody? Jackson, go first. Do you think it's fact or crap?
Man, I can't make a joke about this one, so this is it's not going to be as good.
Sure you can. Kill them all. Let God sort it out.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The Catholic way.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I think that it's a real thing. I think that the repeated stress is probably what gets it, though. And I mean, obviously, it could be a genetic thing. I know that some people do have like heart issues that could be passed down. I had a friend in high school because in high school you have PE and then you have to wear the heart rates and yeah. And his heart rate when he would just like be walking out there was already like in the 160s, 170s, like pushing that high heart rate zone. And so like I know that was like a genetic issue. But I think those are the two factors that I think really heavily kind of affect it.
Do
you want me to go?
You probably have a bias. You probably already know.
Yeah.
Your shit.
Well, I have some information, but do you want Paul to go first?
I'll let Paul go. Yeah.
I think it's a mixture of things. I think genetics has a big factor. I think a lot of people discount that. We have a tendency to, in every aspect of every illness, everything, that we think that everybody's going to be affected by whatever virus or whatever. If you do this exercise, get your cardio, that's going to work. I mean, that's going to fix the problem. And it really depends. My father was extremely low heart rate, and I had that too. He has, even when he was 80 years old, they said his heart was as good as a 60-year-old. So mine, the last time I had a physical, same thing. It doesn't seem to have that. I think that's the biggest factor, but I think also what you put into your body and what kind of exercise you do, physical activity based on your genetic ability is probably the big point.
So genetics and what you put into your body. Let's ask Hydrox Boy over here, who's sucking down the cheap Oreos.
Or the ketos.
The ketos. They're still over there.
So my knowledge on this is that your heart is a muscle, right? And so if you stress your heart enough, you get hypertrophy. So the muscles overdevelop, and those will grow, and so you can't actually expand enough then, so you can't take in as much blood. So then this is where you start to have some of the, David's going to have the terminology for this.
Is he stealing your thunder, David? No.
No. Yeah. Heart issue.
Dude shook his head
like,
on audio
a lot of
podcast.
cyclists, will like have hypertrophy of their myochondrial muscle and muscles.
You just made those last 3 words up.
No.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So, and then,
3.
anyway,
They said
that
it's
will
3.
go down, or it doesn't really go down, the same as like another muscle will hypertrophy or atrophy. And so you'll get these arrhythmias and so on and so forth if you are stressing your heart and taking it off. I do think that there's genetic mutants out there, like
X-Men?
who is the guy that is like 40 years old and
Wolverine?
still racing for a movie star?
It's Alejandro Valverde.
Thank you.
Alejandro Valverde.
That guy's a genetic mutant. Why is he 40 and racing in the World Tour? There is probably 1% of the 1% that are racing in that.
Yeah.
So I would leave it at that. I would say that there are actually like physical changes that happen in the heart with racing at a high level and stressing your heart, but then there are also genetics that, could either prevent that, or if you are stressing it for a long period of time, it leads to an issue.
You guys are scaring the shit out of me. David,
You want to make you feel better?
tell me I'm going to be okay.
Joe?
Or not.
Well, I mean, as with all the other things, you guys are mostly right here. It certainly is a real thing. There's a higher prevalence of the arrhythmia that y'all are referring to is called atrial fibrillation. That's what happens. It's where the top of the heart, basically. Don't you do electrician stuff? This is an electrical problem. This is like
it is electrical.
Yeah, so this is a heart electrical problem. Basically, the top of the heart starts freaking out and sending all these weird impulses down to the bottom. It's called atrial fibrillation. It's actually super common in unhealthy people. So the weird thing is that there's a high prevalence in healthy, extreme endurance athletes. And it's not 100% understood why, but it's probably because either you are stressing your heart during extreme endurance. You can actually measure enzymes that we use in heart attack. After somebody who's run a marathon, if somebody runs a marathon and you took a blood sample immediately afterwards, they would have a slight elevation in this enzyme that looks like a heart attack because their heart was just stressed to a point that it basically leaks a protein that says, I'm injured. And then the consequence of that is scarring. So more so than hypertrophy, it's that you get this scarring in your heart, and then you get atrial fibrillation. But I think Paul's 100% right that not all extreme athletes get this.
Yeah.
And the other thing that to make you feel better, Paul or Pat, is that you have to be like a world tour level cyclist that's doing this every single day for 15 years straight. So none of us in this room,
Or even racing like a full calendar at our level, right? Yeah. Like if you were like doing a full race schedule and like pushing yourself really hard in the 1-2s.
Yeah.
And you're getting up to like 190 beats per minute.
Sure, for a couple of years, but if you keep doing that forever and ever and ever, eventually you might end up scarring your heart a little bit and developing atrial fibrillation. But you also might be lucky, like Paul's saying, and have great genetics, and it'll never affect you. Or you could be unlucky and get it pretty early. So all that to be said, I don't think anybody should change their exercise habits worrying about getting this arrhythmia.
I'm worrying.
I don't think you should worry.
You took plenty of years off.
Yeah. There you go. You're totally golden.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should worry about if you are exercising to the point that you get atrial fibrillation. This is something people live with their whole life. It does not kill you. It's a treatable condition, and if you're exercising that much, you have so much else going for you that I don't think anybody should worry about it. It shouldn't stop you from riding your bike.
Is it genetic?
And so I don't know, and I don't think anybody knows the answer to that. But I'm sure, as with everything else, there's some people that are more likely to get it with a certain amount of activity than others.
Is there a test or prevention methods, one way or the other, that you would know of?
A stress test.
The test would be you're riding your bike and all of a sudden you're in atrial fibrillation and you'll feel it. You can't provoke it. And there's
middle of nowhere by yourself.
Yeah. But we have a friend that literally will sit in zone 2 and all of a sudden it's like
He goes from 160 to 220 for his heart rate, but you feel horrible. But it's not life-threatening. It's not like the guy on the football field that got hit.
Keeled over.
He died. You don't die from this. You just feel horrible, and the solution is either drugs or they shock you out of it.
Yeah.
Chloe Dygert,
Yeah.
who's just having this issue.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's no test. There's no prevention, and in my mind, the more you exercise, the more benefits you do for yourself long term, for survival, for cardiovascular benefits. So you really should not worry about it at all.
So ride your bike.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
ride
you
your
say
bike.
that people at this table, our exercise is not going to probably, we're not pro tour. We're not
Right.
somebody
We're
like you
average.
or I are not going to push that. That
Even
that
our
point,
good weeks,
so.
if I could do 15 to 20 hours a week every single week, probably wouldn't.
And like
Yeah.
the rides where we go out and try to throttle each other,
Yeah.
Probably not.
it's not enough, right? Like we'd have to do that like 5 days a week
For years.
for years.
Okay. Let's do
So
it.
game on.
Yeah. Bring it. Bring it.
Your heart hasn't stopped yet, Pat.
Yeah.
Let's all try to get
Pedal
each other
harder.
a fib.
But I think
Yeah.
this brings up, because there's a lot of list of old pros that have problems.
Yeah.
And most of the ones that we know are during, I'm not suggesting that they did drugs, but that was a
During
rampant
a period. Yeah.
And you start putting in like synthetic hormones
Yep.
and stuff like that, that will contribute to that.
Yeah.
That is a known factor.
Yeah.
And I'm not pointing fingers, but they came those with Sonny Cambrelli is
Cambrelli,
probably
yeah.
the most
outside
recent,
of that, and that sound to me when I talk to people about it that in the medical, there's more a possibly genetic situation, his deal.
Yeah.
But when you have a list of guys, you're like, oh, that was
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they were in the dirty list,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Their blood was as thick as cornstarch. For
Yeah,
like
yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
That heart's just going, oh God, trying to push that
So
stuff
let's
in.
a little hypothetical situation. Could you imagine if you were to end up in this scenario? How would you react? We just received the information that all of you place cycling in the top 3 of your life's priorities. How would you react? Quit altogether? Go e-bike shopping? Only ride indoors? Only ride bike paths? Fetal position in your basement for your remaining days of life? Kleenex boxes on your feet? How would you react to something like that? Jackson hasn't spoken for a little bit, so I'm going to
man.
throw you
Oh, yeah.
the death sentence.
I mean, clearly it's not a death sentence, as
If you
we were
say
saying.
golf,
Yeah.
if you say golf,
No.
I'm disowning you.
I mean,
He's disowned
no.
me.
Yeah. I think e-bike shopping is a really great place to start. But then I think that, as we've just heard, it's a treatable condition. To be able to kind of work through that,
Yeah.
I think, just take time and be patient. Would be important. And then, I mean, I wouldn't stop riding my regular bike either. It would depend on how hard I would have to, how hard I could go, which for me mentally is a difficult,
Yeah.
hurdle to jump over. But sometimes when you get those things, you just got to cope. And those, I think, would be the 2 ways I would kind of handle it.
Voice of reason.
Who raised him?
He's
I don't know, dude. This is why he doesn't understand that you're 30. It's like, whoa, you act
Yeah.
like you're like a teenager.
Yeah. His mom is a hypochondriac, and I am obviously throughout many
Worse than
episodes on
that.
this show that I'm a lunatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's. Was it just that you had to be mature? 'Cause
Or
you
we
were
had
like,
a
he was your dad?
really good-looking mailman.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be. Although there's too many similarities.
There are two.
You should look at a picture.
Skipped a generation.
Yeah.
No.
Look at a picture of you at 23 years old. It is uncomfortable how
Really?
Yeah.
similar you and I look.
So you're screwed.
Except you don't have the beard oil.
Yes, he does. Now
I
he
do.
does.
I just don't wear it because I'm just beard stash.
I would get a cardio version. No, man. If it really came down to it, like I said, my
You'd
priorities
lay
are
off the cooch on
family.
your popcorn.
I'd lay off the gooch on the popcorn.
Oh, gooch.
That's a disgusting way to say that.
I was going to put that into the name on this podcast, but I'm like going,
yeah, but you need to go
Instant
nooch.
red flag.
Needs to be
Make it a
nooch, not gooch on the popcorn.
Nooch
Put
on
your
my
nooch,
corn.
not your gooch on your popcorn.
Yep.
I don't know if you should necessarily title
You
it
should.
Nooch
That's what
on
you
my
should do.
corn.
Yeah.
Nooch
Nooch on my corn.
Let's
I
see what
think
comes up. You might
that's-
have a bunch of new followers.
That's a porno.
But like, okay, I'll synopsis this with like the priorities of like 1 to 2, right? Biking being number 2.
Yeah.
1 is family, and like I wouldn't want to, have to like put my family through the issue of dealing with me being out on a bike and my heart stops. So I would find other activities. I'm endless, and like I have a friend right now who who is getting to an age where like it's dangerous for him to be trying to bike at that level.
Sure.
You know him, Bozo, and he's texting me
got an
about his
e-bike.
e-bike. Yeah, and he was just like, "You want to do laps up Mount Spokane?" And I was like, "You know what? I do, and I'm ready to cry on your wheel." And then,
It's like a motor pacer.
yeah, it's like it's like if you want a motor pace, let's go. And you know what? That's awesome. And I would just do that. I would steamroll all you mother truckers.
And Mr. Bozo has a family problem with hearts.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things where it's like it's not worth it. And I would still go out and ride with you guys, but I'd be like, hang on
Yeah.
Wow.
To my e-bike.
to my e-bike,
Yeah.
I just
and then I'd just heckle you the whole time.
I'm still too new to the e-bike realm, and I don't know if I could ride with you guys on an e-bike because I'd be just like going.
I wouldn't give you a hard
I'm not
time.
going
That would
hard
actually,
enough.
I would,
I'm not
I would
going
give
hard
you.
enough. It would take a long time for
Yeah.
me to swallow that pill.
Yeah. I would rather be out riding with you
Yeah.
on an e-bike than like you being at home, and I'd be like, man, that's a bummer that
Yeah.
No,
No,
that's
I
not out
agree.
here.
But it would be a slow adaptation.
I'd
to be
heckle
able
you
to get to
more for not riding an e-bike.
Yeah,
than
I would,
riding an e-bike.
and that just means you're
A true
halfway
ass.
decent, good
Yeah.
person. Yeah. No, I meant it. I mean, you're a good person. I mean, that would be just like, come on, man, let's go ride. No, I'm on an e-bike.
I forgot to charge my e-bike.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, oh, you dumbass. That's shit David does.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I would.
Rip on
That's
David.
something that David would do.
Did you go electronic shifting on the new bike?
Oh yeah.
Charge those batteries, man.
Wait
I know.
until no, don't tell him that.
Hey,
Wait
hey,
until
hey.
the first time he shows up and he has to ride the entire time in this little ring up
is-
front, little
Crash
ring up
gear.
This is why I honestly think the SRAM system's pretty sweet because you get 2 batteries. So
Yeah.
somebody like me who's gonna forget because you got a front
You can
derailleur
switch
and
it
a
front
reel,
to back. Yeah.
and you decide like, yeah, I just need a rear derailleur. I actually think that's a pretty good idea.
Why do you have a front derailleur battery?
I wouldn't.
If you're Paul, you just don't shift out.
That's true. Paul,
Nailed
you could
it.
get a single speed,
Yeah.
but
his
That's
you look
A
at his
54.
small chain ring and it's like that is just
I've got a picture
sparkling.
of my
It is
last time
sparkling.
I broke down my bike, and I turned it, spindle out so it's on the inside.
There's no
The,
way.
the
Mark.
50, yeah, the 39 is barely even marked.
Is
and I
it a
used
30
that on-
Yeah, it's a 54 is your big ring though, or is
No,
it 55?
55. 55 is on my TT
56.
bike. And
Yeah.
I wish they made them. I'd be putting them on there. So
And his knees are like that's every pedal stroke.
60 years old, and they're screaming, and they're still cranking over. I was just saying.
is that OEM equipment there?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
pretty
Oh
good.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's not messing around. Hey, you guys, time for quick tips with Bike Fit Sam. I hope. Do you got one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Brought to you by the one and only Ambassador Cycling. Get to ambassadorcycling.com today. Get fit to get fit.
Yeah, I did. So coming up on that time of year when you got to have some continuing education, checked off. So I was doing a lot of that on my vacation. And you know what? There are Bike Fit continuing education for PTs. It's awesome. So
The whole saddle
what?
thing was wrong.
it
We
was
want
wrong.
you just
All right, let's start from the beginning.
Remove
so
the
erase
saddle, sit on
everything
the
I've ever
post.
said. Yeah. No, but like one thing
Who needs a
that
saddle?
because you got chamois cream in your asshole.
And
you
it's
just
you gotta-
never have enough chamois cream.
Yeah.
It's coming out of your bibs.
Yeah,
Enough.
never enough.
Like
You talk to me
fucking
once
cream
you-
cheese through a cheesecloth. It's enough.
Too much, Sam. Too much.
Jesus, it's bleeding through the pores of the lycra. Those are brand new shorts, and they're ASOS.
Yeah.
It's a fine thread lycra there,
Yes.
man.
So I will say that like my big quick tip for this week is it kind of feeds into you, the shoulder pain, right?
Yeah.
So like I was having some pretty bad mid back and then neck pain. And I was like, man, weird. Can't figure this one out. And I tried like lowering my saddle. Yeah, the bike fitter doesn't know everything, right? You know, when it comes to his own bike fit.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I have previously gone over to the guy that I trained with and gotten a bike fit. This one, turns out I needed to lower my handlebars. So, like, a lot of the time if you have pain, I know, if you have pain in the middle of your scap, I was almost at a neutral level. So I was like, I need to get up a little bit higher. But then when I would pay attention to when I was riding, I was, like, stooping down into my shoulders, right? So I was, like, kind of squeezing my shoulder blades together because you're trying to get lower. So lower your handlebars, and then you can get more of a neutral scapula.
Wow.
Yep.
I believe back in the day we called it slamming your stem.
Slam that stem.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
But
that is not
there's
the
a
case for
given- yeah,
everybody.
exactly.
There's also other adjustments with 4.5 of saddle, stem length, all that. But for me, it was just lowering the stem, and it was pretty significant.
Because
So
the
1
pain was
centimeter.
between the shoulder blades.
Yeah, the pain was between the shoulder blades and then the neck. So I was kind of like this,
Yeah.
right? Because I was trying to get lower, as opposed to like if it's low enough, then you're sitting at neutral.
Drop your stem low enough. You feel like
Not
you're
everybody should do it.
Feel
Hang
like
on.
you're-
Not
Hey, let's
everybody.
feel like you're riding downhill all
Yeah.
the time and your balls are gone.
Yeah.
You can't even feel
Yeah,
them.
if you
No,
can't
just
feel
tip
your
your
nuts,
saddle up
yeah,
like
then just-
7 degrees,
yeah.
and that'll
yeah,
hold you.
a solid 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That did not cause your ED.
You will
though.
not
Yeah,
have
that-
kids. Yeah.
It was
not
psycho.
ED.
It was what psychogenic.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's psychogenic. If
Not,
you're-
not cyclogenic.
Yeah.
Cyclogen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, before I conclude, I want to talk about the decline of the cycling magazine. This is going to be a short topic because there aren't any left. As of last check, the majority of premier cycling publications have either closed completely, cut back drastically, or become a laughingstock of what they once were. Hi, Outside Magazine. You guys, I
Hate you. Hate you.
Outside.
I don't know
So
what-
that's a full 1 because he had a half.
That was
before.
1.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
yeah,
am
yeah.
I at my full 3 then?
Yeah.
You're at full
Okay.
3.
I'm not sure if I know what Outside magazine did.
They purchased Velo News, Cycling Tips, a bunch of other.
and shuttered them.
Yeah, and they said, okay, reorganizing. So Cycling Tips podcast has not been.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Right.
And they just released-
Velo News too.
On a personal note, they just released something that I consider really not very good journalism on Mariah Wilson.
Yeah,
and how it was all taken.
on the other podcast, you called it what? Clickbait.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's a sensitive subject.
I think
to write on and get it wrong.
that's a company that really understands how to attract clicks,
They
but
want
they don't understand
dollars
good journalism.
and not journalism.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
I
So,
agree.
do you guys have any history with bike magazines? Was there anyone that you were just like, Paul could go for hours,
Yeah,
but Jackson, were there any in the house that you were just like, oh my,
Peloton, I'll tell you what, can
Peloton was great.
visually can
They're gone too.
I know that's
Yeah.
disappointing, but
It's
but
Outside
visually they can draw you in like no other. I still have some of the issues that you gave me
Yeah.
sitting in like this little like video game bike room I have.
Yeah.
As decorations. I mean, they could create covers that were like art. It was
Yeah.
really I really appreciated that part.
I think that was the thing I'm missing about cycling magazines the most was the photography and holding it in your hand, the pictures.
Still pictures, there's still a room for that. And
Yeah.
that, I think being a generation now that we're so into video, there to freeze frame somebody that's suffering that 1 second
Yeah.
that these guys are, you could see the pain, or I know
Yeah.
that we glorize
No,
that, but even sweat dripping off their nose. I mean, in
Yeah.
a position with that motion doesn't catch.
Yeah.
A Roulaire was top notch, and
They're still alive.
yeah, that's about the only
One
one.
of the last ones.
I mean,
Yeah.
Paul, what you're describing right now is what I appreciated so heavily about acting is you can see somebody experiencing a situation that is not real at the moment, but they can convey it in such a real way.
Yeah.
And when you get to experience that emotion with them, and I feel like a still image helps you kind of experience that emotion in the moment.
yeah.
Well
Just by
put.
the facial expressions
Yeah,
that they
live theater.
out.
That
yeah.
really presents.
Which is also
presents that,
dying
yeah,
our
so-
firm. Let's
Yeah,
be honest.
yeah,
You know,
unfortunately,
yeah. Did you guys have any go-tos that you were like?
Velonews and Peloton were I always had those.
Road Bike Magazine.
Winning.
Oh yeah, I didn't subscribe
Road
to
bike?
that, but if I was like,
Yeah.
They had good. I just like looking at all the new bikes out there, all the new equipment. Like, where do you go to compare everything nowadays?
Yeah, working at a bike shop was awesome because we had all the bike magazines, and then you just have to rip off the cover and send that in.
Yeah. Get your.
And so
your money
I
back,
had every magazine.
What do you mean rip off the cover?
So
and send it in?
so you have a publication Winning.
Yeah. Winning was
wasn't
brilliant, by the way, and that's too old.
That's
We're too
way
old.
too
for
old.
that.
Bicycling, bicycle,
magazine,
road
yeah.
bike action, mountain bike action.
Sure.
You take that and you send it to the publisher,
And it's
and
like, we
they
didn't
credit
sell
you
this.
because it wasn't sent to. But you get to keep the rest of it. You just don't have the cover, so you get to take that home when you work at a bike
was
shop. And you
amazing.
get free magazines.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
could
you
be
just didn't
3 or
have the
4 of
cover.
them. Yeah, that's it.
It's like, here, we're gonna
Oh my
we're gonna
gosh.
recycle these if you don't want it.
Yeah.
And it's like, dibs. I took all of them.
Oh my gosh.
You know, you mentioned again.
I have
bring it-
Velonews and Winning, I think, in this house here
Yeah.
somewhere. You know, because I'm a hoarder.
You mentioned in your other podcast that
Yeah.
you're in.
You can
So-
say it, the Cycling Legends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cycling Legends,
Which
but-
are who are trying to reinvent how cycling is presented. They're
and I
trying to
heard
do
the
an
last
audio
one.
magazine.
Yeah, the last one, and you guys were battling this, and I think it is a niche, and just like the idiot that I am, you know, there's some people that just I don't want electronic shifting or disc brakes. I'm just happy where I'm at.
Yeah.
There is, I think there's a small portion of that, and we're into what Outside Magazine has done is like it's all about profit, and that's what, you know, I'm always soapbox right now, but
No.
you know, manufacturers are like, I don't care if disc brakes doesn't fit. You know, I mean, it's not perfect in every situation. This is the way we're going. This is the way you're gonna go.
Yeah.
I don't like that, but we don't have the power
have
to
a
change
choice.
that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that like stage theater, I'd rather see stage theater as opposed to a movie any day. I'd rather go to a bike race and see the pain and still photos than action. Action, you know, like a video is great to see the whole thing, but to capture the essence of what the sport is or what acting is or whatever, that is really important. And I think there's a small portion of people that will probably pay. I'd pay $200 a month. I used to subscribe to Rouleur,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it
Not a
started
cheap
getting to
subscription.
no, it wasn't. But I hit them right before they went away from. They started adding gravel because it was really big.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm paying a lot of money for something I don't care about, you know. And that was my decision.
Yeah.
But they had to expand because they were losing subscribers
Yeah.
because there was something new, and I understand that. But hopefully.
Peloton
Cycling
was even
Legends.
talking about. I remember several of the articles were tailored towards the lifestyle. They would talk about, you know, they'd have beer recommendations. They'd have,
That's awesome.
you know, bands. They'd have, you know, music and stuff like that associated with it, which is that lifestyle element, which I just, it breaks my heart that those kinds of things are gone. But I think that globally, I think that the majority of us don't need to hold the physical magazine in our hands anymore, and that's. I mean, am I wrong?
I mean, I don't know. I went through PTA school and graduated 2020, so recently, and I printed off every single one of my slides.
Yeah.
Like I need to magazine.
Do you see all the paper on this bar?
Yeah,
I could have my notes on a screen,
Yeah.
but I choose to, you know.
Yep.
it's
Yeah,
just
oh.
See, I never did.
Yeah, me neither.
4 years and 2 of them being in COVID, I still never printed anything
that's
out.
insane. I had so many of my classmates who were like doing the notes on the like
Yeah.
The
whatever
computer things.
thing
Yeah.
that they did.
Jackson, would you subscribe to a magazine to hold it in your hand, or would you take it free if it were on your iPad?
I think I would. I mean, I would be willing to kind of support something like that because I think that first of all, a journalist and a writer, as somebody who has
That's what's being lost.
what I was going to say is this might sound pretentious, but as somebody who did study English for like 2.5 years, I found that the act of writing takes a lot more than just sitting down and doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much research and creativity and like
Angles.
angles that come into it that it's not easy, and I think that it's a true art form that we take advantage of. I mean, my fiance, she prefers the physical book all the time. And I'm sorry if I'm being long-winded here, but
No!
I definitely would, because I think there is the art form of seeing the art that is the cover, and then the way that they like put it together. I think that it is something that deserves a physical creation.
I think it's an experience.
Yeah,
When you
that's
sit down with a magazine, it's an experience
right.
more than
That is definitely the best way of shortening what I said.
Yeah.
No.
But
yeah.
for an example, there's a book that came out that Stu suggested years ago. It's The Milkman, something blah, 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 blah. But it's about this guy, this journalist who goes through Belgium and starts following races. And he gives history behind, it's a detail of the race itself and then the history of Belgium, which is really complex. And he told me about it, and so I downloaded it and started reading it on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
And Stu said, "Did you ever pick up that book?" And I said, "Yeah, I downloaded it on my iBooks." And he's like, "Oh, I have the hard copy. I was going to give that to you." I can guarantee you, if I had the hard copy, I would read that more than
Really?
I do on my iPad.
Because
my eyes get tired. You got the light.
and
beam-
there are so many other things on your iPad that you can be like, I'm
Yeah,
not
you get
into this at
sidetracked,
this
yeah.
moment, so I jump
exactly
around.
right.
Yeah,
I'd rather have
that's-
I know that I'd probably be done with that book if it wasn't for it being on my iPad.
See, I think a magazine deserves a physical presentation, when I think books can be read that way. But I think when you make a magazine, it's
just the
too hard.
pictures of it and everything.
Yeah,
It's-
and it's too hard to navigate.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
And to ruin everything, you don't want to take your iPad into the shitter.
What?
Well,
Wow.
I do.
Paul has something to say
Paul,
about that.
Paul
Yeah.
takes us in the shower.
Yeah,
though,
there's
so,
bike races going on. There's all kinds of.
He's got a
it all set
sleeve.
up.
He
yeah.
just got an otter box for it, so it can go
That's
wet
right.
and dry.
And I've got Liz's JBL little
You can,
box, and it shoots into my shower, and I'm watching it.
you
Yes.
can wipe down an iPad to counter that argument. You can't wipe down your magazine.
Yeah. You can pee on
There
an
you go.
iPad.
Yeah, and then wipe it
Oh
down
my
with Clorox
God.
wipes. I mean, they're
What-
sanitizable.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Thank
why-
you, Dr. Dave.
Why are we
Yes.
getting into Clorox wipes here?
Justified. Right
My
there.
junior high years are going to disagree with you.
Anyways, folks, for the pack.
Your magazines were sticky and wrinkled.
How's your boner, Jackson? Everybody, thanks for yet another
I hate
enthralling.
cheap socks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God! Close it out.
Say
Close it
hello.
out, Jackson.
Waited for the great gag for the end. I hope you stuck with us the entire time. Once again, panel, I'm going to say it all at once. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
thank you.
And I guess I'm going to confess the fact that we might have to take a Tuesday off next week, just simply because of yours truly. But we only take 2 of those off a year, I think.
pretty much.
Impressive.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's impressive. There's only 2.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we only take two off a year. But the goal is at least 50 shows a year. So
I
if
think
you,
we do that.
Yeah.
If you got a problem, look at how much you're paying for it.
Yeah.
And by the time that we are on the next show, I will be drinking full time. So thanks
know
everybody.
it.
I'll probably be 5 pounds heavier. We'll talk to you next time.